University of Florida Lassinger Center Common Core expert Jamie Burns serves as a professional development consultant for high-need, high-poverty schools in a large district. Her work with the district has included helping coaches and administrators better understand the Common Core and what the Common Core will mean to their everyday lives as educators. With a strong, rich background in inquiry, Jamie is helping schools make the connection between inquiry and the Common Core.
I see inquiry as a natural way for teachers to dive into the Common Core and to better understand the implementation of the Common Core. And I think inquiry will help them develop a more systematic way of thinking about how do I implement these standards into my classroom, and what are some effective ways that I'm working toward these standards, and what are things that are not working for my students. And so thinking about the implementation of the standards in their classroom in a more systematic way, but also thinking about how do I make this doable for myself. I just finished doing a PLC around the Common Core with administrators and coaches from a variety of schools. So one of the major connections that they made throughout our work with the Common Core was how teachers who had participated in inquiry previously would feel less threatened by the Common Core if they could make the connections and help them to see the connections between inquiry and the Common Core, and how inquiry could guide the teachers through their implementation.
Jamie worked with one elementary school where, in recent years, the process of inquiry had ignited across the entire building, with every educator engaging in action research.
What I really loved about the inquiry process is that teachers have an opportunity to be a part of the process, be a part of the buy-in, be a part of the professional development. These are questions that they have. These are concerns that they have regarding their students and their classrooms, and a lot of times I can't answer those questions. So for them, it was kind of like they're taking ownership of, this is my concern, this is the process in which I, came about the answer, and as a result, here are the results. So it's been fantastic. I think when we first started out, we probably had maybe about 6 to 10 out of about maybe 50 teachers that participated. This past year, I'm happy to say that all of our teachers, including myself, because I lead by example, my assistant principal, we're all participating in inquiry-based research or action research. So it has really grown. It's just been something where it's opened the doors and allowed for our teachers to have conversation, and like we're all on the same page, the same dialogue. And it's allowed us to bring down those walls and the barriers, and doors being closed. Usually when a teacher goes in the classroom, they close their door and that's it. You won't see them again until dismissal time, whereas now, people are going into each other's classrooms and they want to see the literature. They want to see, well, how did this go? How did that work out? It's just creating a whole evolution of just lifelong learners here. It's not just you're going to come in and I'm only going to come in with the knowledge that I learned when I graduated from college 20 years ago and that's it. No, it's evolving. Research is changing every day. Education is changing every day, and you have to stay abreast of current trends. So I believe inquiry does that.
Okay. Like by reading the books that we read, they were fiction, but they were...
Staying abreast of current trends, one teacher in the building joined forces with the reading coach to study the translation of the inquiry process as teacher professional development into a pedagogical technique she could utilize with her second graders.
My first inquiry was actually last year. I teamed up with the reading coach at our school, and our inquiry was actually based on student inquiry. So we wanted to know what was the process, because we really didn't know a lot about student inquiry. Can second grade students do that? Can we really let them go and let them really research? Would that be something that they would be interested in? And so we did, and we took it slow. We had to do a lot of research though, because we didn't know how the process actually started. Like, how do you begin? So we did, we just took it step by step.
Over my lifetime, as I engaged with more and more teachers and principals in the process, serendipitously, I began to see that teachers who experienced the power of learning through inquiry thought, wow, this could be pretty powerful to use with my students. And so they began transferring that notion of inquiry into their classrooms, and inquiry became not just a mechanism for their own professional development as adult learners, but inquiry became a pedagogical approach to organizing their classroom instruction. and igniting passion for learning in their own students. That's pretty powerful and pretty exciting to see that passion for learning unfold within all people within a school building. Angela Jackson is a teacher who did just that. Angela asked her students to work with a partner to explore one part of the human body covered in their curriculum through the process of inquiry. Students developed a list of wonderings about their selected body part and engaged in research that included internet searches, video watching, book and magazine reading, and interviewing local medical professionals. Their inquiries culminated in sharing their learning with their classmates.
They loved the fact that it made them feel like I felt that they were older, or that they could handle it, that they could really do something, that I didn't have to just tell them everything, and that they could find out their own information, and that they loved the fact that they didn't all have to do the same thing. They didn't all have to learn about the brain, or they all didn't have to learn about the heart. They got to learn about what they wanted to learn about, what was interesting to them about the human body. And then they were able to share that, and we actually did a showcase. Just like the teacher inquiry, we have our showcase. The students had a showcase in the library, and where their parents came and the principal came, vice principal, and other students, and they were actually able to share out and present their PowerPoint presentation and what they learned about the human body. The parents were so impressed. The students learned so much, and their presentation skills, and that just really went through the roof. We found that every day they were wanting to learn. They could not wait for science. They couldn't wait. They were always asking, can I work on my project? Can we go on the computer to research some more information? They were even going home and getting on the computers, if they had one, to bring in information that they found. They were researching even when I wasn't asking them to. They were very motivated.
Inquiry, teacher and student, can be a powerful mechanism for addressing the Common Core, helping educators create an exciting learning environment for all adults and students at a school.
The administrators and the coaches were all very excited and were able to make direct links between inquiry and student inquiry, and also the Common Core, and how that might alleviate some of the tensions the teachers were having and the administrators and coaches were having based around the Common Core, because they felt like if inquiry was something they had been engaging in, and also something they felt very comfortable with and were familiar with, that it could help them in multiple ways. It could help them think about their implementation and their role in implementing the Common Core, but it could also help them think about teacher practice and practice in the classroom, and what students may look like if they were engaged in a lesson around the Common Core.
So I got the traits, but I ain't got the minor one because my mama didn't have it. But it can pass down generations and generations.
The year after every educator and student at this elementary school engaged in inquiry, student standardized test scores dramatically increased. For the first time, the school earned an A from the state.
Our students actually showed our teachers how easy it was, because the students got on board and they were excited about it, and so that made the teachers even more excited about it. So now, because there's so much energy in the building and just, amazement and just engagement amongst the faculty members and amongst the students, that you kind of have to question and say, why would you not want to do this? It's really taken our learning and our teaching to just a totally different height now. So, like I said, it's just been good.